Ah, spring. A time for rebirth, renewal, and new clothes. So why not head over to our Teespring store, where you can support some smaller artists to bring some great designs to life. Our diamond shirts, cartoons are cool, player select, and so much more. So many shirts! Ah! We know you have spring fever. We know you want one of these shirts. Go check them out. Link in the description. Now on to the video. Welcome back to Mini Mayhem. I'm AllShrinkVox, and here we are, the penultimate episode of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. After this one, there is only one more, and that'll be all she wrote. She, of course, being Darren FC. So today we're going to break down Pizza Party and Tavern at the end of the Multiverse, for all the Easter eggs, references, deeper meanings that you may have missed the first time around. With all that said, let's dive in with Pizza Party. This episode title at first glance is a red herring. Yes, there is a pizza party involved, but it's a tad removed from the conflict between Moon and Mina. However, the pizza party serves as the catalyst for Hekapoo's defining moment. We'll touch on this when we reach the scenes in question, but it's important to keep in mind what the storyboard has felt was one of the most important scenes in the episode. A scene that lands this episode its title. This episode opens up with a flashback of Mina Loveberry's origins during the Monster Mewni War. Mina's a peasant selling rags in the midst of Crossfire. Her demeanor and low energy voice tells us all we need to know about her life prior to the Solarian project. It didn't have much to offer. For all we know, she could have barely made ends meet. Mina and the townsfolk are seemingly saved by none other than Queen Solaria the Monster Carver, voiced by Gemma Whaling. Now this was very clever casting on the crew's part. Just like Eclipse's voice actress Esme Bianco, Gemma Whaling is known for her work on Game of Thrones as Yara Greyjoy. It's nice to have this mother and daughter voiced by the actresses who stem from the same television show, one that kinda deals with similar politics and conflict. From this brief glimpse we see of Solaria, her and Mina share the same habit of stressing the last word of their sentence as if it's a battle cry. Hey, kinda like me when I do videos about a script and only an outline. It's likely Mina adopted this from Solaria herself, trying to mimic her idol as closely as possible. Attached to Solaria is a baby Eclipsa, which connects us to the previous episode where Eclipsa holds Meteora in a similar fashion. This was a habit adopted from her mother, which continues to show the complex relationship between Eclipsa and Solaria. Despite not seeing eye to eye on the most important thing to both of them, monsters, Eclipsa still loved her mother, and was influenced by her mother in more ways than one. From parenting to deathly annihilation spells. Solaria even mentioned Snodgras bars, which implies they're both fans of this treat. Although, as it turns out, the giant spider monster wasn't actually attacking Mewni, but the village Solaria swooped in to protect was built on top of the monster's nest. Mewni always belonged to the monsters, not the humans, something disregarded and buried by Solaria's ideology. A majority of Mewni's townsfolk were unconcerned by the presence of monsters, which in a way tells us that at one point they weren't far off from living in harmony. They just had a few bumps in the road, but Solaria elevated everything to a catastrophic level. Due to being in the wrong place at the right time, Mina Loveberry's life forever changed, as she was the first volunteer in Solaria's monster annihilating army. Now this origin story was initially revealed and fleshed out in the Book of Spells, which gave more insight into the process of creating Solarian warriors, a process that we broke down in a video last year. In present day, Star has a very emotionally charged reaction to discovering her mother was betraying Eclipsa and Globgor, something we haven't really seen since season 2 of the series. Star's emotions causing her to lose a grip on magic, immediately bursting into butterfly mode, firing spells in every direction out of pure shock and anger. Moon briefly does the exact same thing. That punctuates how much of a train wreck everything has become. After things simmer down about 0.3 degrees, Moon reveals she blames everything on Eclipsa, losing her memory, being lost in the realm of magic, and being separated from Star in River. Although we know the situation was much more complex than that, Moon jumped the gun in harming Meteora when the dilemma was almost neutralized. Thus, Eclipsa intervened to protect her daughter. Moon would have likely done the exact same thing if Star was on the receiving end. Eclipsa hands over the wand to Moon, which, despite Moon's assessment of Eclipsa, showcases Eclipsa's growth. As opposed to running away or fighting against Moon, she's doing what's best for the kingdom and putting it first, instead of exploring the option where things could get worse for everyone involved in fighting back. This also has payoff to what we mentioned in our breakdown for Ghost of Butterfly Castle. Moon can't stay uninvolved from Mewni's affairs. She has a natural inclination to be queen and serve her people. Originally, I thought Moon would try to reclaim the title as queen during the events of Coronation, but it turns out everything since then was a slow burn by Moon to make sure things were perfectly in place. This is why Hegapoo was aware of the plan and warned Marco, having a bad feeling in her gut. Speaking of Hegapoo, as chaos reigns on Mewni, we transition to the episode's titular scene, the Magic High Commission's pizza party, a premature celebration for Moon and Mina's victory, despite the scene on Mewni reflecting quite the opposite of what someone would call a win. Back to what I was saying in the beginning of this breakdown, whereas Romulus is mocking the situation and Omnitraxis prepares for the frequent meetings with Mewni's next queen, Hegapoo has a moment of listening to her conscience. All the screen time she's had, her friendship with Marco, the mistakes she's made along the way, it pays off here as she ditches the echo chamber of a fiesta to aid Marco, Star, and Eclipsa, suspecting once more that Mina is someone not to be trusted, that things will only get worse. Her warning to Marco was genuine. Even her words to Romulus in Coronation may have been coming from the heart, without her even realizing it. While Moon is definitely a bit skewed into an antagonistic light for the audience, her contribution to Eclipsa and Star's conversation sprinkles in a little bit of the morally great side of the conflict. Moon stating that you have to do what's best for your people, even if they hate you, referring to her own daughter's feelings. As to be expected, Mina's not letting things resolve by Eclipsa surrendering, but instead raging war on all monsters, wanting Eclipsa and Globgord's heads. Star remarks how she used to look up to Mina, taking us back all the way to Starstruck in Season 2. Man, how far the show has come. Comparing everything going on then to everything going on now in this very moment, it gives you a sense of appreciation that everyone involved in this conflict are characters we've known for years. It drives home that this isn't black or white. No one is necessarily in the right or wrong, but Mina is insane. That's one thing that will never change. Moon attempts to undo the Solarian magic casted upon the warriors, only to discover that the spell can only be undone by the queen a warrior pledges their oath to. As Mina and her soldiers pledge to Solaria, she is the only one who can undo it. Now, Star already came up with another solution to this problem we'll touch on in a moment, but perhaps this could allude to the resurrection of the old Queens of Mewni. This is not as far-fetched as it sounds. There's another video in the pipeline that will pull from the series finale trailer, so this notion will make some kind of sense. Moon tells Mina this is madness, only for Mina to respond, "No, this is justice," elongating that final word, perfectly emulating Solaria in the beginning of this episode. Luckily, they're saved by Hegapoo. Mina searches the monster temple for her hostages, and we finally get payoff to River's bear costume, as he pretends to be a set piece and manages to evade Mina, protecting Globgor in the process. This takes us to our final episode segment before Cleaved, Tavern at the End of the Multiverse. This episode title is a reference to the restaurant at the end of the universe, the second book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. Hegapoo introduces Star, Marco, Moon, and Eclipsa to this location as a place where many people from different dimensions come to escape magic-related issues and power-hungry rulers, aka everything in Mewni for the last few hundred years. As Eclipsa puts Moon on the spot for everything she's done behind the scenes, we learn that Moon is the one responsible for having Romulus free Globgor during the events of Coronation. Thus, Moon was the one who had the initial bright idea that Globgor may go on a rampage and prove to the general populace of Mewni that he's dangerous. That sure blew up in Moon's face, but revisiting the episode and the climax in particular, it feels a lot more apparent. Mina has captured and gathered a slew of monsters we've seen throughout the series, but for all Dog, his family, Ludo's henchmen, the alternative monsters, Slime, his family, and even Razakor, who has yet to fully regrow, and probably won't by the series' end. We check in on Janna and Star's fallen warriors of Mewni, where we discover what happens to an untreated Solarian wound. You blow up, poof, nothing left. Jeez, Solaria, you were absolutely brutal. It's no wonder you were assassinated. Not saying you deserve to be assassinated, but you get what I'm saying. Rest in peace, Quirky. River and Eddie continue their mission to heal Globgor as they rush him to the magic sanctuary before he suffers his own explosion-filled fate. Once again establishing that Globgor's duties as a father triumph any form of prejudice River held towards Globgor. Again, even if it means defying his wife. I mean, look at River. There are tears in his eyes. Name a greater confliction. Star comes to the conclusion that magic is dangerous. It only creates more problems, and perhaps the multiverse would be better without it, gaining support of the Tavern customers that sought refuge from conflict created by magic. However, Marco points out it's magic that brought them together. When Glossary grabs Star's attention, she immediately enlarges and jumps into his eye, serving a nod to episodes such as My New Wand and Into the Wand, where Glossary seamlessly brought Star into his own realm through his eye. Star is over the tricks, the smoke and mirrors. She's ready for everything to just be over with. Star unveils her master plan to defeat Mina and solve all of her problems. Destroying magic. Say the whispering spell in the realm magic, which effectively destroyed the mill horses within the wand the first 2 times she recited the spell, then it should destroy all the mill horses in the realm magic, even the firstborn. If she's still alive, magic would be gone for good, with no chance of being restored. Yet Glossary shows her the future, which cements what will happen when she does this, not if, taking Star to the Grandma Room. In the Grandma Room, Star meets her ancestors, the former Queens of Mewni that appeared in the Book of Spells, who left their tapestry to view hers in shame. Upset, confused, and scared of Star's decisions, these queens include Skywin, Festivia, Selena, Rhina, Justin the Boy Queen, Durhenia, Comet, Crescenta, Solaria, and Estrella. Missing is the unpictured Supina and Lyric Butterfly, 2 queens who we lack all documentation of. Justin can actually be seen holding on to Festivia, and it makes sense these two would form a closer companionship in the afterlife compared to the other queens. They're both party animals, as shown in the Book of Spells, and have an untraditional claim to the throne. Justin was only crowned queen due to circumstance, and lost the throne when Solaria was born, whereas Festivia was given the throne after Eclipsa was crystallized, and Meteora was swapped with her. Man, I'd love to hear Justin and Festivia converse. Mainly because I'm really curious in their voice actors, their demeanors. Star comes face to face with her own tapestry, something that was once unfinished and Into the Wand. Her destroying magic, with her parents and only monsters in sight. No Ponyhead, no Kelly, no Tom, and the thing that bothers her the most, no Marco. Glossary states that without magic, he himself will cease to exist, which is why he tore himself out of the tapestry all the way back in Season 2, a tear that can still be spotted. The erasure of magic will ensure that everyone goes back to where they belong. Star assuming that Marco would go back to Earth. Assuming is the key word here. I'm going to explore this in another video, but let's just say Glossary didn't confirm Marco would go back to Earth. He just assured Star that the tapestry is finished and likely cannot be repaired. However, we know just from Moon's tapestry that these things aren't 100% historically accurate. Moon severing Toffee's finger was portrayed very differently from how things actually went down. Eclipsa and Globgor are a lot more sinister in their tapestry than in actuality. So the tapestry could be vague enough for Star to have second doubts about her decision. Is it really a good idea in the long run, or only in the short term? That black goo is also very telling. It's similar to both the purple magic created from Moon's visit to the realm, washing off Eclipse's seal, and the green magic created from Toffee's magic in the realm. This informs us that Star awaits one last obstacle in destroying magic, an obstacle set up in Mama Star. Star also refers to Marco as her boyfriend officially in this moment. Star admits that in destroying magic, Toffee was right, reminding us of Darren Nepsy's statement on Toffee many years ago. He's a Magneto-type character. He's not wrong, but he went about things the wrong way. The illusion of the grandma room allows Toffee to come back to life one last time, bringing his character full circle with his iconic line, "Surprise!" as if he's giving Star the severed middle finger all the way from the grave. Rest easy, Lizard Man. Rest easy. Star has her mind made up. She informs Marco that she's going to go forward with her gut and destroy magic. And there you have it. Here we are, finally at the doorstep of the series finale. Now, we have a bunch of Star content coming this week leading up to the grand conclusion. Trust me, you do not want to miss a single video. So be sure to be subscribed with notifications on. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please throw it a like. Seriously, this channel is about to get a little weird and a little wild. But what did you guys think of this episode? And how do you feel about Star's conclusion to destroy magic? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at OstricVox. We're also on Instagram. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox, signing out. Hey everyone, just letting you know over pre-recorded message that we will be at Momocon 2019. We'll be there all 4 days, but I know what you're thinking. What about the panels? And to that, my friend, I have an answer. Friday at 2:30 we'll be on the Channel Federator panel, talking about our experiences as content creators. Then on Saturday at 4 p.m., we have the first ever animation showcase with a bunch of other content creators in the cartoon community. Cosmodor, Robotaxi, Nintendo, Saberspark, you name it. We'll be showing off a bunch of animated projects, such as Hazbin Hotel, whose creator will also be there, Long Gone Gulch, Amoda and Nepson, and more. And yes, we will be showing exclusive footage you cannot see anywhere else. Well, I mean, until the actual panel, where I'm sure it'll be live streamed and you can, but you guys get the point. After that, our final panel will be Saturday at 7. Another Steven Universe of the fan with this panel. Us, Mackenzie Atwood, Slice of Otaku, Rose's Universe, and Michaela Deese, the voice of Amethyst. Oh yeah, did I mention this TV Universe cast will be there? Zach Callison, Dee Magnahall, Michaela Dietz, and Estelle. Well, Estelle's only gonna be on Thursday, but Estelle. Get hyped for Momocon, guys. It's so close, and I have a feeling it'll be one of the best years yet. Hope to see some of your beautiful faces there.